for joining and for watching. I wish the video that I was making was about something a little bit happier. You know, I think the world needs a little bit of happiness at the moment, but unfortunately, we've had this tragic event occur with the murder of George Floyd. So before I talk about anything, firstly, I'd like to pay my respects to his family and his loved ones, and extend mine and my family's deepest sympathies for the tragic loss and murder of another king. So, and that's what I wanted to discuss today. We are calling it a tragedy. Firstly, it's not a death, it's a murder. So we have lost another black king at the hands of the white authorities. I would like to draw attention to this word, tragedy. While it is tragic, and it is tragic for his family, and the circumstances that are surrounding it are not necessarily what I would call tragic. I call this an agenda. I call this a plan. This is not a one-off tragic event. Bear with me for one moment. I want to read some names. Trayvon Martin, Keith Scott, Tatiana Jefferson, Jonathan Farrell, Jordan Edwards, Stephon Clark, Amadou Diallo, Renisha McBride, Tamir Rice, who I might add was 12 and playing with a toy gun when he was murdered by the police. Sean Bell, Walter Scott, Philando Castile, Ayana Jones, who was sleeping and accidentally shot by an officer in a raid in a wrong apartment. Unarmed black woman sleeping, murdered. Terence Crutcher, Alton Sterling, Freddie Gray, John Crawford, Michael Brown, Jordan Davis, Sandra Bland, Botham Jean, Oscar Grant, Corey Jones, and Ahmaud Aubrey, who, whilst wasn't shot by a police officer, was still unarmed and jogging and minding his own business, and thought to be a criminal by white Nazis who have then shot and killed him. So when I say that this is not a tragedy, this is a plan and it is agenda, that is exactly what it is. From the time they abolished slavery, they put laws into place that enabled them to arrest you for literally standing on the corner and talking to your fellow black man. They imprisoned you and put you on the chain gangs. You have now become a part of legal imprisonment and slavery. The situation that we find ourselves in now with the murder of Mr. Floyd, we have now, and sadly it's taken like 5 days of serious rioting before they even bothered to arrest one. There was 4 officers involved in this. One little man standing at the front and 3 at the back murdering that innocent black man. And I say innocent because the laws state that you are innocent until proven guilty, but we all know that innocent until proven guilty is for white. If you are a black man or woman in the United States of America, you are guilty until proven guilty. We have now this call to arms, a call to fight back. We have to fight back. You have to fight the police. What we find ourselves now is in such a precarious position in that if we fight back, if you fight back against the police, more of this is going to continue to happen. They will shoot you before they identify you. Your other option is to submit. So you will become submissive like your ancestors who were enslaved before you. Either one of those options is a win-win for the white KKK in America. Submit, they'll kill you anyway. We've seen that with George Floyd. We have seen the footage. We have all seen the footage, both sides. All of the angles, all of the CCTV, the man didn't put up a single second of fight. None. I asked my husband to hold his breath. He couldn't make it past, he didn't get to 2 minutes. They literally suffocated him for 9 minutes. 9 minutes. If you sit down and watch your TV and the commercial break comes on, that doesn't even last 9 minutes. So this man was systematically murdered in front of a crowd of people holding their cameras and videoing it. Not a single person who could hear this man calling for help stepped in to help. And that's the real tragedy here. He was surrounded. We've seen the footage. So this man did the submit. He submitted. He didn't resist. He didn't even resist when he was being taken from the car. And they still had him. He was walking quite politely along with them, going wherever they were leading him, until they killed him. Behind a car, I might add. So you want to be out from the CCTV cameras. You submit, they will kill you slowly. You fight back, they will shoot you dead on the spot. And not just you, they will shoot the next one before he has a chance to fight back. So they win, and they win. Now there are calls, go home. Come home to Africa. You will be safe here in Africa. So if you all pack your bags up and flee back to, they win again. So you're in a precarious position. Everyone is calling for you to go home. Black man, black woman, go home. Let me tell you something. The black man and the black woman were the first. You are the first human beings on the planet of this earth. We all came from you. So every country on the planet of this earth is for you. So everywhere you step your foot, that is your home too. And that is your God-given right to be anywhere on the planet of this earth and be safe and know that you are home. Africa will always be the spiritual home. It will always be the motherland. But all of this calls to arm, calls to come home. Africa is not ready for millions and millions of people to come home. We call on the diaspora to help fix Africa, repair Africa. We can't repair Africa for everybody in the diaspora before we repair Africa for Africans. So the diaspora, we need to open our ears and we need to listen to Dr. Arakana. We need to donate, we need to invest, we need to do all of these things to build Africa before we can call for every African American in any land, any country on the planet of this earth to come home where you will be safe. You need to be safe in the land where you lay your foot. I've seen so many videos of people with skin the same as mine calling out this horrible thing that has happened, calling out the murder of George Floyd. And I'm happy, I'm really happy to see so many white people speaking out and getting that message out. But what I will say to all of them now is put your money where your mouth is. How many of you making your videos would have gone and pulled that man, that KKK officer off that black man's neck? I know I would have. You couldn't have stopped me if you tried. So now is the time for action, not just talk. We can talk and talk and talk. You can stand there with your camera and video it and spread it for the world to see what horrible atrocity happened. Only one person needed to be filming. The rest of you could have been attacking and pulling that officer off that black man's neck. We have seen police officers making videos, sitting in their car, not surrounded by any other member of the force, saying they don't agree with what happened and they've been in the law enforcement for this long. I've also seen police officers making videos, they're training officers, saying, oh, but that's how we're trained to do it. He just did the technique wrong. So no matter what they do, no matter how they kill you, there will be someone there to defend the way it was done. We have KKK in the law enforcement. You've got KKK lawyers. You've got KKK judges. You've got KKK all through the government. Look at the President of the United States of America. I'm surprised he's not wearing the outfit. What we need now is to make every land safe for every black man and every black woman. That's what we need. I have to ask yourself, how many African Americans are sitting in prisons now because they hired a lawyer who was a KKK, who was just simply racist? The defense that you got was not good. It was not good on purpose to put you behind bars. We ended slavery and then we made rules that enabled them to imprison you simply for standing on the corner talking to your fellow black man or woman. I think of, if you go back to, the 70s and you think about Stanley Tookie Williams. Tookie Williams created the gang. Now everybody's calling it a gang. This wasn't a gang in order to kill each other. This was to protect themselves, to police their neighborhoods, because the police weren't policing the neighborhoods. The police were killing you guys. And now the police have managed to get in there and turn you guys against each other. So now you've got a black man with a blue killing a black man with a red whilst you both wear the same skin colour. When we all unite, when you all unite, all of this stuff will stop. You are more powerful. All black people all together in that country of USA are more powerful than every white person there put together, as far as you unite. The system is designed to wipe you out. As I said, submit, they will kill you slow. Fight back, they will kill you fast. Leave and go back to Africa, they get their country back. A country which I might add was black before it was white. You have people calling them to go home. You're not thinking, some of these African Americans, and not some, most, have good paying jobs, own their own houses, have children in schools, they have businesses, they are successful in their community. They can't uproot that and all go running home. They need to make it so that everybody can be successful in that land. Everybody of colour can be safe in that land. Not about running scared and letting the white man win again, because that's what they want. If you go through the poor neighbourhoods in the United States of America, you will see in the poor black neighbourhood, you will see a gun shop on every corner. Go and drive through Hollywood and tell me if that's what you will find. You won't find it. They're put there because they want you to kill you. They are killing you are killing you. And then your final option is to leave and they get what they want, ultimately in the end. Every country is for you. Every country is for you. It's not that you need to go running back to Africa to be safe. If we build Africa, we need to build Africa for Africans. We need to build an Africa that you can be proud of as that is my motherland, that is my spiritual home. But where you lay your foot and where you've built your foundation of your life, you have the right to be safe there. And I will call on every white person that is speaking out about this to put your money where your mouth is. The next time you see a white officer pinning an unarmed African American woman, child or man, step in and do something. They can't kill all of you. Step in and do something. They stand there filming. How many people filmed the death of George Floyd and then spread it across social media? How many cops are sitting in their cars saying they don't agree with what's happened? Go and stand in your police station and stand next to an officer who you know has complaints against him for brutality against an African American and make the video. Call them out. We have enough African American leaders in America, in lawyers, judges, in government positions. There is enough that they can change the laws. It's not an easy task. When we look at, I was thinking when Obama came in, how wonderful. Obama did a brilliant job. He was a great inspirational leader for the United States of America. But what did he do for his fellow black man? Did the rate of black incarcerations decrease? It didn't. Did the rate of black unarmed deaths decrease? It didn't. So now you have got Trump, the most racist, outspokenly, openly racist leader. So if you are relying on the government to do something, they won't. They won't. You need the black leaders in the community to start standing up. Take your inspiration again from Dr. Arikana. She spoke out about the French colonial rule and the continuation of the colonization pact in Africa. She lost her job, but look at her now. She has inspired an entire generation of people to take stand. Now everybody knows what France is doing, and we can fight back. We can stop it and make Africa to be Africa. Right now you are calling for people to come back to Africa. They're going back to Africa? Africa is half owned by France. The other half is controlled by China. You go back to Africa, you're going back to Fran China. You're not going back to Africa because Africa isn't for Africa anymore. So before you get and start calling these people to come home, people who have jobs and a life there, some of them weren't a part of the slave trade. Some of them were there already. USA was black before it was white. So it's not about we need to go home, we need to fix it. We need to make sure that every black man and woman is safe in any country that they put their foot in because it belonged to them first. It belonged to them first. This 2020 should be an absolute eye-opener for the leaders of Africa. As we sit and call all these guys, calling you African Americans back to America, have you seen a single leader out of Africa speak up and speak out about the death of George Floyd or any other African American? As far as you hold the title of African American, have you seen a single leader come out of Africa and say, come home, my child? Come home where you are safe, my child. Not one has spoken about it. Not one. If he was a white South African African-American, I'm sure you'd have heard something. But as far as a black African-American, the African leaders are silent. They are silent on their own issues, and they are silent on your issues. They are silent on your issues. So if we have 1 million African-Americans pack everything up and get on a plane and ship their cars, can you imagine 1 million more cars on the roads in Africa? What roads? They're dirt, potholed. It will be a catastrophe. We need to build Africa for Africans and for pride in your motherland, so that when you do go home, you can have a pride in your spiritual home. But nobody has the right to run you out of the country where you lay your foot and the foundation of your life and you are raising your family. And all you white people making your videos, that's great, bring awareness, but put your money where your mouth is also. Put your money where your mouth is. The crowd around this man dying, and there was one silly cop in the front. You think, I could have taken him. Had I been there, I would have. All it would have taken is for one person, just one, to do something, and everybody would have followed, and that man would not be dead today. This has to come down to community, and it has to come down to unity. We need unity among the African Americans, we need unity within Africa, and we need unity as a human race. We need a level of understanding that no black man is a foreigner in any country. You are the first peoples. You are the first peoples. Watching this man and hearing this man's final words and watching him take his final breath should be enough for every single person on the planet of this earth to stand up and make sure that this never happens again. This man's death cannot be in vain. It took 5+ days of rioting for them to arrest him. A man who had at least 18 other complaints against him. A man who I have recently had the attention has been drawn to, that the man that died and the cop that was on his neck worked together in a nightclub. So you can't tell me he didn't know who he was. This isn't a single-handed tragedy. This is an agenda. This is an agenda, which is why I am calling arms to stand up and fight for your right in your place, where you are. Be safe where you are. White people, make sure our black brothers and sisters are safe where they are. Stop filming it. Only one person needs to film it. And let's face it, CCTV cameras are everywhere. So you don't actually need to film anything. You fight and stop it. Pull him off. Save the man's life. Let our brothers and sisters, because we are from them, I'm telling you now, I'm telling you, if you are white, you came originally from a black man and a black woman. The black woman is the only species on the planet of the earth that has the mitochondrial DNA that is capable of creating any other color other than what she is. I'm white, I can only make a white. I can only make what is given to me. We all came from a black man and a black woman first. Every country in this earth is for you first before we came and we took it. So we need to take back, you need to take back what is rightfully yours and own the space that you are in. You don't need to run in fear. And we as white people, if we don't stand up and make these people safe in their land, then you deserve to be under that knee also. Stop filming and start taking action. African American leaders in positions of leadership, positions within the government, take a stand now. If you look at the amount of people who voted in the last election, there was millions of African Americans who didn't vote. There was only several thousand votes needed against Trump for him to not be there. So it's about ownership and it's about time. We call for unity for the human race. Unite for your fellow black man and your fellow black sister. We need Africa to unite. We need the UN. We need unity across the world so that everybody can be safe in the land that they stand in. Nobody should be chased out of any country to go back to one continent and only have that be their space. You have the right to be everywhere. What happened to this man is not only a tragedy, it is an agenda. It is a plan that has been going on since we came and took your ancestors from Africa, since we came and enslaved you on your farms, since we ran the natives off their land. The agenda has been to wipe you out. We put guns on every corner of the poor black neighbourhoods so that you'll do the job for us. We've chemicalized Africa, and we've divided Africa, so you're killing yourselves there. If you were to go home now, can you go home with pride? South Sudan is divided, they're killing each other. People are starving in Ethiopia. The situation is so bad in some of these countries that the women are travelling to Saudi to be raped and brutalised just so that they can make small pocket money. And you're calling for these guys to come back to Africa? Common sense needs to prevail here. And justice needs to be done for George Floyd. Not just for that one officer, but all 4 that were involved, and any other officer involved in this. All it would have taken is for Mr. Obama to put one rule in place, that if you kill an unarmed black man, or an unarmed any man, as a police officer, you two will immediately be charged, and you will be fired, you will be charged, and you will not be on administrative paid leave. You will be treated the same as any other person who kills somebody. Period. This guy who shot George, this is not the first black man that he has shot. This is not the first black man that he has shot. Unarmed, I might add. So how many more before he would be put on charges if not for the rioting? We need the black leaders within that country to start standing up and making changes. Stop being scared about losing your position. Be an inspiration for your people there. The African leaders in Africa, stand the fuck up and start doing something for your children. As far as they carry the name African American, they are from you. They are your children too. They are children of Africa also. Stop worrying about your pockets and start worrying about your citizens. Because at the end of the day, they are love. They deserve to be safe. They deserve peace. Again, my sincerest condolences to George Floyd and his family. I don't have words to actually convey what I feel about that video. To hear somebody, as a mother, you can hear your child fall and cry, and your heart breaks and bleeds until you can get to that child and help them. So to watch a crowd of people listen to this man plead for his life and not a single person did a damn thing about it breaks my heart. So white people, I am calling on you today. I am putting you, put your money where your mouth is. It's great that you will sit there and you will make your videos, but how many of you would have pulled him off him? I know I would have. Would you? Will you next time? Stay safe, stay blessed, and let's come together. Let's come together to fight the system. Let's make every land safe for every black man, woman and child, because it was their land first before you came and took it. They have more right to the land they stand on than you do. Where your McDonald's is, that's their ancestral land. So have a little bit of respect. White people, put your money where your mouth is and start standing up for your fellow black man and black woman, because without them, you wouldn't be here. Thank you.